Hey YouTube, Peterbilt Knife Guy, and today we got another work tough gear to talk about. So we're gonna baton it through some knots. So like I said, this is a work tough gear. This is the Tayal. Now they have a Tayal and I think a couple other ones, but this is kind of a smaller one, and I think they have a mini Tayal too. I'm not positive on that, but this is the work tough gear Tayal. And this is a very slicey trailing point knife. Let's get into specs here real quick before we get too caught up into it. First off, we're looking at a 5-inch blade. We are 10 1/4 overall. And the inner grip, shout out to Scab, is right about 4 inches, just a hair under 4 inches, which will fit a large hand, even an extra large hand. I have extra large hands, and this thing fits me good. It has G10 scales with green liners and this really cool texturing on here. I think they call it like a crocodile or alligator. I can't remember, but it's textured really nice actually, and it is super duper comfortable. We are looking at a pretty thin blade stock for a work tough gear, because typically they tend to build their knives a little overbuilt, but we're looking at an 1/8 of an inch stock. It is a high saber ground knife on a trailing point blade, and what a trailing point does is it's not a real super trailing point. When you look at it like this, it looks like that knife blade comes up, the tip here comes up above the handle, but it really kind of doesn't. It's kind of in line. So I guess it comes up above the center, which is what makes it a trailing point. Most knives will have your tips somewhere around the center. This one's upswept. Now, what is that gonna make this do? This is gonna make this a super slicey knife. There is really no flat spot on this guy. And speaking of slicey, I went ahead and reprofiled this. I put a 17 degree edge on here on both sides, and it's 16, 17, somewhere right around in there. And I kind of polished it, but not super good. But I'll tell you what, I'm running out of paper towels, but this guy is wicked sharp. Let's see, can I get yeah, maybe a little stroppy. You know, one thing about a real super sharp, keen edge like this is it don't hold it for very long. It's mainly just for show, but it is fun to see how sharp you can get a knife. And let's see here. Like that. That is freaking... If you can do that with a knife, it is very sharp. These things are not super hard used knives, in my opinion. Could you semi-hard use this? Yes. Problem is, this thing's not designed to be heavy, so it has a huge milled out section in here, and that's why there's only 2 pins instead of 3 on this handle. So we got a big open center here, and you know, it doesn't make it weak. I pulled the scales off, took a look at it when I first got it, and it's definitely not a weak knife. It's just not something you want to go and beat through an oak log. And, you know, that's just not what this thing's designed for. This is, in my opinion, this would be a good hunting knife, fishing knife, camping knife, just not a hard use bushcraft beater knife. Although we are going to do a little bit of, we're not going to do any batoning, but we're going to do a little bit of slicing, see what we could do feather stick wise with that edge there. And big shout out to The Last Huntsman. He sent me this out of the kindness of his heart when I was complaining that I couldn't get any freaking work tough gears. So thanks to him, I got my second work tough gear. Scab at Choir Boys Cutlery beat me on the first one. But, you know, honestly, this is one of those knives that I probably wouldn't have purchased myself. But now that I have it, I like it. I really dig it. So anyways, let's go put some use on this thing, and then we'll come back and see how well this SK85 steel holds up. So being that it is I would call this an EDC fixed blade camp knife, you know, just general use tasks, no real hard use. It doesn't want to chop, but you know, we're gonna do some chopping anyways. just some light chopping on this here 1x. It's 1.5 by 1.5 and see what happens. Let's see, can you even see that? Yeah. I'm gonna choke way back on it just to get as much power as I can and see what happens. Now, that honestly didn't do too bad, and I think that just because of that edge that I put on there. It doesn't have the power, but it has pretty good geometry on it right now to where it doesn't take much power to get that into wood. Screw it. Let's do some heavy-duty batoning. It's about as heavy-duty as it gets right here. See, there's a knot right there. We're going to test this edge in this SK85. Right through the knot. Let's hit it through that knot again. Just see if we can mess up this edge. Not a lot of people, you know, with this new super steels coming out, people poo-poo on just standard carbon steel. SK85 is a standard carbon steel. But, I mean, it's survived. You know, carbon steel's been around for a long, long time, and it ain't going nowhere anytime soon because it's good. Wow. This freaking, look at that. That's like smooth. That 1/8 inch blade with a high saber grind and that real freaking keen edge that I put on there. Wow. See any damage? Nope, that thing is still just scary sharp. Let's do some feather sticks and see if I even can. This thing just wants to bite in. You can hear my neighbor screwing screws. Let's do this. Not bad at all. I wouldn't say this is a bushcraft knife, but if you had to make some, I wouldn't call these feathers because they're relatively thick, but you could do it, especially if your skills were better than mine. I want to try to punish this edge just a little bit, so we're going to baton it through some knots. By baton it, I mean I'm going to hit it with a freaking hammer. We're gonna have to go all the way through. Look at how nicely it cut that. That's fantastic. Another knot. Let's see, it goes there to there. Neighbor's making all kinds of noise. So I'm gonna make some noise back. Knot. Knot. Damn, this thing is super slicey. Super duper slicey. But not very hefty. All right, so after that light little bit of punishment, I do see there's some slight glinting on here, but it's still deadly sharp, and I can't tell if that is, yeah, it's got a little bit of rolled edge. You know, I did put a, you can hear it, I did put a really fine edge on this because, like I said, this is not a hard use knife, but let's hit it through some paper and see what happens. Yeah, it's still... So it did take a little bit of damage, but let's hit it with the strop and see what happens. Maybe hit it on the ceramic, just to straighten that edge right back up again. You know, batoning it through knots is pretty damn abusive to an edge. It's definitely not what the knife was designed for, and definitely not what the edge was designed for when I put that freaking that really steep angle on here, because this is a slicer to me. This is something that would be excellent in a camp use, you know, doing vegetables and meats and stuff like that, skinning, hunting, those kind of applications. It's not a true woods knife in my opinion, and that's just because that severely skeletonized tang. So I mean, it was my bad for putting this edge on here, but I kind of wanted to test to see how thin this edge profile could be brought down. Now I know. Wow. See, just, I mean, wow. Right back to wicked sharp. Let's see if we can get this thing to cut paper towels again, just with that little bit of ceramic rod action and a little bit of stropping. Hit it with the bare leather. And try the paper towel again. See what happens. It'll probably go through. Oh yeah, no problem. But we did lose our super keen edge. I could probably strop this up enough to where it'll do it again. But this is still no slouch edge for just a couple seconds of fixing it up. Let's see if we can, getting there. There we go. You know, so literally ceramic rod, piece of leather, and some strop, and you can get this Work Tough Gears SK85 just back to wicked sharp. Let's see if there's any hiccups in here. No more hiccups. Bam. This stuff's good stuff. I really like Work Tough Gears SK85. It's tough. It's durable. I probably wouldn't put a this thin of an edge on I don't know, a knife that you plan on taking into the woods, but if you want to do hunting, like if you hit a bone with this, I don't know. Let's do that real quick. Let's see what a bone would do to it. Closest thing I have to a bone is an antler. Let's just hit it on the antler. Yeah, it glinted it a little bit. Let's see here. Don't affect the edge at all, though. That's crazy. You can see right there where I hit it, and it didn't really do jack shit to it. Be stropped right back out. But anyways, this is the Work Tough Gear Tayal in SK85. Fantastic knife, good steel. Don't bring that edge down as low as I did, but even if you do, I don't think you'd have that tough a time. Just keep it off hard objects. Anyways, that's all I got for you today. Thanks for watching.